What's up, everyone? Welcome into Bet, Win, Repeat. I'm your host, Hannah Mears. You can follow me on my social media channels at Mears Hannah right there with that little tag on the handle right there below. And don't forget to follow and download our Picks and Parlays app. It's able to download now on all app platforms. So if you look right here, our ticker on the bottom of the screen is going to tell you how to get that app. This is going to give you easy access to all of our exclusive content. And on top of that, I do something called Beers with Mears. This is my every other Thursday show that I come out with, a Thirsty Thursday guest. We talk about a ton of different things from their life and who they are in their world, as well as some interesting topics happening in their field. So this next week coming up, I have Pro Football Focus analyst Trevor Sikkema. He's huge in college football and NFL analyzing. He's been featured on shows like Good Morning Football and all over the NFL Network as well. He has a ton of insight into what the NFL season is going to be looking like this year, and more specifically, things since the draft, because he was huge in all things draft coverage this season. So that's going to be a really cool episode that you're not going to want to miss out on, especially if you're craving some NFL content this time of year and getting a preview into some betting. We even talked about some team totals and early bets for future bets this season as well. So if you're into betting the NFL, you're going to want to check this episode out. He's an awesome guy. He gives really good, thorough insight. So Beers with Mears will be live next Thursday at midnight. But follow Beers with Mears on social media channels, and better yet, Picks and Parlays as well, who retweets and shares it all, because all of that promotional content is going to be coming out with little snippets to give you a preview of that. Also, don't forget, here on Bet, Win, Repeat, this is our content right now. This is where we're doing our content show. We have contests if you're interested over on our Facebook page. So you can join the Picks and Parlays contest page over on Facebook. This is our weekly update for a $100 prize. So for anyone who doesn't know, we do weekly contests. We do monthly contests. This is a weekly update on how some people are doing. You go ahead, you throw in a pick that you like that day, and it's sort of last man standing. So these are the people right now who are still in the race for that $100 prize. Any questions, please feel free to mention in the chat. Lenny will be backstage. Go ahead and answer all of those questions for you. But you can obviously, anytime you want, enter a contest over on our Picks and Parlays Facebook page. Also, don't forget right now, live on our website, picksandparlays.net, you can use promo code MLB and it'll save you 20% off the entire site. Now, without further ado, I'm going to bring in Mr. Cam the Man to get to talking with me all sports headlines, because Cam, something came out today, speaking of NFL, an early schedule release came out. We get the full schedule release coming Thursday evening, but 3 big games were released to the fans. Let's start with the inaugural. So the first ever Black Friday game in the NFL is going to feature Hall of Famer Aaron Rodgers. This is going to be an Aaron Rodgers-led Jets versus this explosive, high-octane offensive team with the Miami Dolphins. So, looking ahead to this game, what excites you the most?
Excites me. It would be, I want to see how well Aaron will do in the new environment, how well the Jets will rally around him. I know he's adding pieces. I know there's guys coming in to join him. But, and this is all jokes aside, this isn't even being funny. By the time Black Friday comes, they'll be, 7-8 weeks into the season. Is Tua going to be healthy? It's health on both sides is going to be a huge thing. But I think this is a good time. The whole Black Friday thing. I think it'll draw a lot of eyes. I think both of these teams are going to be good this year, though, and both of these teams are going to make a lot of noise in the AFC. The
AFC being added, Jalen Ramsey being added to the Dolphins.
Yeah. The AFC as a whole, though, is stacked. It's loaded.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's loaded. But it's like the AFC and then the Eagles on the other side.
It really is. I was looking the other day because I had Trevor on my Bears and Mears podcast, and I was just going through, and it was easy to pick out sort of who the worst division was, right? The worst division down with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and everything going on down there. But to find the best was really, really complicated, especially when you looked at the AFC like we talked about. There are just a massive amount of teams who added so many elements that a lot of them didn't even have flaws last season. Like you look at a team like the Bengals or the Chiefs, and you look at the draft, they only really add players to help what they already had. They could have skipped a draft and probably still been fine this season and still been good. So that's when It's really stacked. And speaking of those two teams, the Bengals and Chiefs are going to be that New Year's Eve game. Hello. Week 17 playoff implications will be a factor at that point, 100%. And everyone wants to see the AFC powerhouses each year. When you're talking about two of the best quarterbacks in the league, great play callers, explosive guys, each quarterback has their guy in Jamar Chase, Travis Kelce. Like the storyline just unfolds and really wraps itself in a bow by itself. So let's say both of these teams are completely healthy. They're in Super Bowl ready, prime condition. Who are you leaning towards this early in the season? Like this is a really future in this.
Where is it?
This one is in Arrowhead, I believe.
Is in Arrowhead. Well, I would probably again lean towards the champs because they all took it very, very personal. You know, the Bengals had run off several in a row against the Chiefs, and everybody was referring to Arrowhead as Burrowhead. Yeah, and as Travis Kelce said, you know, Burrowhead my ass. I feel like that one could have heavy implications, like you said, for the playoffs, but that one could be number one seed type implications.
Yes.
And it's probably going to be cold. It may be nasty. You know, you never know how the weather is going to be. But Kansas City can get loud. And the Chiefs seem to figure out a way to win those type of games. And, you know, home field is huge. And the Chiefs love it. And the Chiefs have made a living with home field during their current run. I would probably go with the Chiefs as it sits right now.
If this game was happening a bit earlier, I'd lean in favor toward the Bengals. It seems like that's when the Chiefs get got, for lack of better terms. The Chiefs always start off the year being like, oh, are they the Chiefs? They're struggling a bit. It's every single year. And then by like midweek, they are just on fire, unstoppable. They've got it figured out. Patrick
Mahomes off 7 in a row. Yep.
Yeah, it's insane. So at this point, I would be leaning toward the Chiefs as well, especially because this game has now turned into a pride game, an ego game with that Burrowhead Stadium, and then Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce clapping back at it after they won. Yeah, the ring statements, everything. So it's going to be very interesting. I will be definitely looking into the New Heights podcast that week. With Travis Kelce and Jason Kelce. Very curious to see what stirs, because something that's been really cool about NFL athletes this year has been seeing them branching out and becoming current media personalities while still in the league. We haven't really seen that before. And Trevor Sikkema and I kind of talk about that. It's a cool insight to get to see what their mind is thinking while they're still playing. So I will be very interested to see what Travis Kelce said. Have you ever caught any of their podcasts?
Snippets here and there, but I watch other podcasts of professional athletes and former professional athletes, but I've never sat and seen an entire podcast of the Kelces. But
it's very good. The snippets are good. And also something that came out about the Kelce family, which is actually hilarious for anyone out there. Adam Schefter, Ian Rappaport, you know, the guys who are always dropping the big news in the NFL and what's happening. Donna Kelce was dropping schedule release rumors on her Facebook page. The mother of Travis and Jason Kelce dropping schedule release rumors, and everyone tweeting out, Jason tweeting out, oh, Shefty, watch out, she's coming. I think it's hilarious, and I love the embrace of this. But how is Donna Kelce getting schedule release rumors? Who's the source feeding Donna Kelce?
Her sons. It's got to be her sons. Donna Kelce right now, you know, she had on you know, some people say she was like Dale and Sonya Curry with the two right. thing jersey. But Donna Kelce is probably in the best spot of anybody anywhere in regards to NFL news. Yes. One of her sons is a reigning champion, and the other son is probably on paper on the best team in the league.
Mm-hmm.
So like she's right there in the mix. You know, she knows what it is. They're probably sending their mom, Ma, put this, to get her looks, because she's gonna get on TV, she's gonna get paid. You know, that's what I would do if I had all this information. You know, if I'm in the league, if I say it, people are gonna be like, oh yeah, that's cool. But like when your mom says it, or your cousin, or somebody completely random, how the hell do you know that? Come here, come talk to us. So yeah, of course.
It's great content. I'm here for it. And you talked about that best team in the league on paper. Yeah, we're talking about the Philadelphia Eagles. That was another early release that happened with the Giants at the Eagles, week 16 on Christmas Day. So again, playoff stuff on the line. This is when the season's getting serious on Christmas Day. And on top of that, this is an Eagles team that is completely built for another Super Bowl run at this point. Absolutely. When you said earlier, it's the AFC, a loaded AFC, and then the Eagles, essentially. The Giants were creeping down people's necks until that divisional round where the Eagles took a stand and absolutely annihilated the Giants 38-7. So by this point, we will get to see who these teams are. They'll have an identity. And like Tate's saying, yeah, Philly Bulldogs is exactly what they're going to be this season. They only seem to be getting better. Do you think the Giants are just sort of that average good team, or just because they're like in the NFC, they sort of looked like they had a better season than maybe what was there?
Yeah. They're good. Don't get me wrong, they're good. But it seems like the Giants have trouble putting it all together in the biggest of moments. And even with as bad as the Dallas Cowboys have been in recent years, the Cowboys are going to be okay this year. But the Giants have 5-1, 6-1, 7-2. They just cannot figure out how to beat some teams. They just can't get over the hump. Home, away, they just can't get over the hump. They just can't figure it out. And that's always going to be a bug for the Giants. I think it always has been. But then you say somebody like the Eagles. The Eagles are coming for blood. The Eagles, Jalen Hurts just signed a huge deal. The Eagles have drafted all these Georgia players. They've just bulked up. They're deep. They're talented. But see, now the Eagles, they have to win.
Right. Now the pressure, they've got the target on their back this season.
Yeah, there's no excuse. Oh, last year, maybe this piece or that piece could have got you over the hump, could have got you past the explosion of the Chiefs. Nope. That's dead now. They have to win, because if they don't win now, next year when this same roster comes back, nobody's going to worry. Nope. They didn't do the job. They didn't figure it out. Of course they're not going to run the table. They're not going to go undefeated, but they have to win. They have to put it all together. I think the Eagles on paper are the best team in the NFC, but the Eagles probably, regardless of side, have the biggest target. They have to win.
Absolutely. They might have a bigger target on their back than potentially the Chiefs do or the Bengals do, just because the Chiefs every year, that target on their back is it's almost something we expect. But we've seen how many AFC teams are good that we could say, well, it might be the Bengals that have the target on their back. I don't know. It could be the Ravens this year with Lamar Jackson in the AFC North. It could be that.
But see, the Chiefs, like we said earlier, the Chiefs have the ring.
Right.
And the core of the Chiefs, they have 2 rings. So really, the Chiefs have done their job. They've got a ring. They've reached the mountaintop. They're bringing it back. And now you can say, oh, well, the Chiefs are getting older. The Chiefs have been the Chiefs. The Eagles are young. They're talented. They're deep. This is their time. And
keep going. This is only interesting because the Cowboys talk. But
always.
But
see, the Eagles last year was supposed to be their year, and they got caught. They got beat. This year is for sure supposed to be their year. And if they have a patch where they lose, 2 out of 3, 2 in a row, 3 out of 5, something like that, it's going to be, oh, well, here they go. Then it's going to revert to, is Jalen Hurts really a quarterback? Is this on Jalen Hurts? Is this on the defense? Is this on their young guys not catching up? Whatever. When the expectations for teams are this high and then they don't come through, it just continues to build. And I'm sure these guys can feel the pressure. We're just in May, but come September, after the whole summer, after other moves are made, there's going to be teams, they're going to make moves to compete with the Eagles. It's going to happen. Just like in the NBA, teams made moves to compete with the Warriors, made moves to compete with whoever. Teams build around to focus on this team or that team. The Eagles are going to be good. They're going to win a lot of games. I don't know what their win total is, their prediction for the season, but it's now for them. They have to win.
Yeah, a lot of those win totals are a little slanted in a lower direction just until the schedule comes out, because then it's easier to base analysis on. But you mentioned something about the NBA. I want to switch conversation to there very briefly, because Denver needs one win to take out Booker and the Suns. And so far in this series, despite what the total is, Denver has looked like they were the complete better team. And at times, the Suns didn't even look like they were comparable to the Nuggets. There were certain games the Suns had outplayed at certain times because of Devin Booker. But are they the more complete team? I don't think so. Do you think Denver gets it done officially, or does this one drag on?
You talking about game 6?
Mm-hmm.
KD and Book are going to have to score 90. But they've been doing it. They have been doing it. But also, we're going into game 6 and a road team has not won yet. Everybody's just doing their job. I think Denver knows they're going to get through, but I don't know if there's any real rush for Denver to get through. If the Lakers beat the Warriors tonight and get through, then I would say yes. But I think the Nuggets are going to get through. If it was me, I'd want to go ahead and finish it. But, you just never know with that Phoenix crowd. They get ruckus, they get loud, and Book has been just throwing it in the ocean. The rim looks so big for him right now, and the rim looks really big for KD too, but they have no help. All of the Phoenix help and their bench, I've said it before, is in Brooklyn.
Yeah, 100%. We talk about that all the time. Yeah. And that's starting to expose them a bit. In the games that they have lost, that's really been a lot of the reason. You have KD, you have Booker. Now, I know in this offseason, hopefully they're going to be looking to build that depth, because that's exactly what they should be doing. Yeah. But it's getting exposed. It's exposing teams in general. Even the Heat and the Knicks, when you're looking ahead at the game tonight, you're looking at the fact that, the last game that they played, the Knicks bench, I believe, scored 10 points total compared to the Heat's 32 combined points off the bench. So this is starting to expose teams this deep in the playoffs, that the ones with more depth are the ones that are starting to shine through and are easier to bet on. But that brings me to another point. The Heat and the Knicks tonight, because it's in Madison Square Garden, the Heat are a 4-point underdog in this one. I told everybody to go, my Mearsy Minute was betting on the Heat at +4. How could I not? Especially, I can see if the Knicks get a win, they squeak it out. But the Heat just has too much depth, and the only time they've lost so far has been because Jimmy Butler didn't play. What are your thoughts on that game?
I think the number is like that because it's a must-have for the Knicks, and they have Jimmy Butler, Caleb Martin, and Haywood Highsmith all as game-time decisions. But so is Emmanuel Quickley and Evan Fournier. But LeBron and AD are game-time decisions every day.
Right. I haven't been able to make bets based on game time decisions because of, I feel like, how much that is in the playoffs all the time with these superstars.
Yeah, it's who people at SportsCenter and ESPN, they have nothing else to do, so they just put game time decisions so they can go in. Well, yeah,
they're not going to actually get that information from a PR staff. For anybody out there who hasn't worked within sports, and for somebody who's even team reported, or when I work for the Big Ten Network, even when it is maybe 3 minutes to kickoff, you still will not know, or tip off or whatever it might be, who will be playing that you need to know about. Every report is going to be, will be a game time decision. Is looking good, but will be a game time decision. Was here in warmups, but is a game time decision. They will never tell you until that first whistle blows.
Yeah, for sure. The one, I can't think of who he is, but it was a Denver Nuggets player one time. And they asked the guy because the Denver Nuggets player was behind him on the court shooting. And they said, "Hey, is so-and-so playing? We haven't seen anything." And he went, "Hold on, I'll ask him." And he spins around. He looks. He screams, "Hey,
yes,
hey,
yes,
you playing tonight or what?" And the guy goes, "No." And he turns around. And he goes, "No, not playing."
Yep, I remember that interview.
I can't think of who it is, but yeah, that's the only way you're going to know.
Mm-hmm.
But then even then, he could have.
They're not going to let players know either for that accidental spill to the media or something. It's always game time decision, and it always will be that way. But I think looking at that line, and right now, it's really hard for me not to want to put money when you see a plus money value in that on a team that's been dominant in this series. And the Heat kind of looks like that team that once they got past Goliath, it's sort of been smooth sailing from there, right?
I'm not going to say they got lucky. because they have played great, and I think they were going to
Luck
win.
plays a factor in all sports.
And I think they were going to. I think they were going to win game one regardless because they shot the leather off the ball in game one. But knowing Giannis was hurt and could come back, and then the Bucks won the second game, and then Giannis played, but it was very, very quickly. It was easy to tell. Oh, this Giannis isn't okay. Giannis ain't got nothing. The Heat, it was.
But sometimes things are put out in front of you in perfect case scenario, and having a Giannis less Bucks team for most of the time was exactly what they needed, right?
It took the pressure off because I always think going into a series, like if you're gonna play the Bucks, if you're gonna play the Suns, if you're gonna play the Nuggets, if you're gonna play the Warriors, if you're gonna play the Lakers, Devin Booker is gonna get his. Giannis is gonna get his. Steph's gonna get his. LeBron, AD, they're gonna get hit. You worry about everybody else. Your whole focus, to me, and from what I've heard and read, you worry about everybody else. Okay, Hannah may score 40, but don't let Bert score 30.
Well, and that's just exactly like if you look back at the LSU and USC series and LSU Iowa, all those games that were happening in women's basketball. I believe it was Kim Mulkey was saying we knew Caitlin Clark was going to get hers. It was just a matter of everybody. She was like, you can't stop it. She's going to score 30 plus, and that's just going to be what it is. That's the storyline that happens in sports. But you just have to make sure that nobody else is having a big game too. And that's exactly, but here's the thing about the Heat and the Knicks tonight as well. The last game, the Knicks had 3 guys 20 plus, and it still wasn't enough.
Not even close. It's because they're getting 20 or 25 on volume, cash in, Hannah over 40.
Yeah.
They have guys that are volume shooters.
Yeah.
When you have 35 on 33 shots, we'll live. We'll live. When you 3 guys have scored, 68 points, but y'all have combined to take 74 shots, we'll live. We'll make it. And that's what it is. The Knicks are relying on volume type shooters. Julius Randle's been a ghost.
Yes.
The Heat are running different guys at Jalen Brunson and RJ Barrett, and it's getting harder and harder and harder for them.
Yeah, that game's going to be extremely interesting tonight. Switching over just a bit to the MLB sphere here. You've got the LA hat on again. So let's start with the Dodgers. Overall, they seem to have really found their footing. I was looking at power rankings today, and that's exactly where I wanted to put a lot of my focus. Since the 10-11 start, they've now gone 11-3. Is this the Dodgers team that we should have been expecting to see, or we should expect to see the remainder of the season?
Yeah, they figured it out. Max Muncy, for one, he could have hit the ball with a boat paddle the first 15 games. Now he's leading the league in home runs. He's hitting, I think, close to 270, 280. They are hitting home runs. They are still hitting home runs. That's always the Dodgers thing, but they're playing good baseball. They're coming up with important hits. They're playing traditional baseball. They're moving the runner. They're coming up with the big time moments. Their pitching's good. Their bullpen has been good. But they're playing well.
How about those Yankees? Let's talk about it. I know Aaron Judge hasn't been playing. That being said, your team as the New York Yankees and what the caliber of that team should be and how much money they have to pay these athletes, why are they not deep enough at this point to be good, at least good enough without Aaron Judge?
I don't know if it's their depth that really, really gets them. But I think Aaron Boone is one of the worst managers in baseball.
Fair assessment at this point.
You said what?
Fair assessment at this point.
He nothing against the guy. He makes really, really bad impulse decisions. And he's too by the book, what the numbers say, analytics, all that. He's too heavy with that to where like
Mhm.
he seems to not have any feel for the game. Like he
Mhm.
seems to have not like 2 weeks ago, maybe Domingo
Yeah.
was just shove it. Yankees had like a 2-1 lead, and Domingo had gone eight and a third, and then gave up a hit. And Aaron Judge just lost his mind, went right out on the field, took him out. And the Yankees lost like 4-2, 4-1. Like it was just a smoke show. Nobody, like the other team, didn't want to go up against Domingo, and they were so
Right.
happy. And he does that a lot. And then like the way that the lineups he puts together,
Yeah.
they're terrible. I mean, and I get, you're gonna have guys that are only hitting 212 or guy, and then you gotta have a guy that's hitting like 380 or whatever. But and a lot of managers do this. Like the leadoff hitter will be hitting like 278. The number 2 hitter will be hitting 291. Number 3 will be hitting 304. Number 4 will be hitting 285. Number 5 will be hitting like 240. And then 6, 7, 8, and 9 are hitting like 200, 143, 16.
Mhm.
So the lineup is so top heavy. So these pitchers can just pitch around the top half.
Right.
Because the bottom
Absolutely.
half, you're screwed.
Right.
And I think that's terrible.
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
absolutely is. And here's the thing, you can hide behind it when you have a guy like Aaron Judge, because that makes a pitcher have to be more strategic than with that top half, because he's thinking to himself, okay, if I walk this guy and the next guy, then Judge comes up, that's an automatic maybe 3-run home run for him, 2-run this, 2. So that's how the Yankees have been able to hide behind this. Without Judge in that lineup, this is why this is starting to get exposed in a heightened manner.
yeah, there's several teams that are like that, like the Phillies early on with no Bryce Harper.
Mm-hmm.
That was an issue. Who else? The Giants, they have struggled with their hitting. Even the Astros have struggled with their hitting. Like, and I'm not trying to toot our horn or anything like that, but like the Braves,
Yeah.
they have one of the better records in baseball.
One of the best teams. Absolutely. They're second in the power rankings right now, I believe.
Yeah, but they have pretty even across the board lineup. The Rays, 1 through 9, they're hitting. They have guys who can't hit nothing, but they're just sprinkled in the middle. They hit behind a guy who can hit and in front of a guy who can hit. So
And they can hit. They're not just on base hit. Like these guys are effective RBI type of every at bat. That lineup is scary to a lot of teams right now. And another team that should be a little bit scary at the moment, don't know if you have an opinion on them. Looking at the power rankings, the Red Sox are now up 13 spots to number 6. It was one heck of a week for them, essentially, after sweeping the Blue Jays in 4 games and then took 2 of 3 in Philly. We talked about the Phillies a little bit. Can they keep that up? I mean, it's been really fun to see them jump that many spots. Are they a team now that can keep it up?
Yeah, I think so. And not trying to talk about my hat or that other team, but the Red Sox have a lot of old Dodgers.
Mm-hmm.
They have Kike, they have Justin, they have Verdugo. They have guys who have been there, who have won, who leads it. But I think somebody like Justin Turner, even though he goes through a slump and he has that issue every year, all these guys, I think somebody like Justin Turner on a team like the Red Sox is really helpful. But no, I like the Red Sox. Not today, but I like the Red Sox.
Not today, but speaking of...
Yeah, they play the Braves today.
Yeah, of course. And I don't blame you. I think I'd be riding with the Braves a little bit in this one as well, if you look at anything they've done this season. But speaking of things that you like, you don't like, what your bets might be, what are some of the best bets you have out right now, or where would you navigate our viewers to find your best bets?
Oh yeah, they're on the sites. I have started doing some hockey, but I'm heavy in the NBA playoffs and heavy in baseball right now. It's pretty busy. Like I said last week, baseball, we're a month or so in. These guys are figuring it out. You're starting to be able to figure out who's who, what's what. We're 40-ish games into the season. So the writing's on the wall for some of these teams, and we're just trying to keep it rolling.
And of course, everyone can head over to picksandparlays.net, the site that Cam was referring to. Use promo code MLB. It'll save you 20% off that entire site. Don't forget as well to like, share, subscribe, ring that bell for notifications. Picks and Parlays Bet, Win, Repeat show is live 1 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday. Check it out. Look, he's got the shirt on already. Love the merch up in here. We have talked everything from NFL, NBA, MLB, and now I have to ask one last question before we log off. Cam, are you going to adopt the dog that was randomly put in your yard?
Probably.
Timestamp that. I got it timestamped. I'll send it to the wife. Cam, don't worry. That dog is yours now.
Yeah, probably. I'm sure. Can y'all hear the other dogs?
Yes, we love it.
Yeah.
We love it.
The other dogs haven't met her yet. And we have 4 boys. They're all fixed. They're all young. To say it lightly, they want to meet her.
Yes.
And she wants to meet them too, because they keep at the door, and it's just the whole thing. So, but yeah,
hopefully she is the perfect fit to take down some of the male aroma going on in that house.
Testosterone.
Yeah.
If she's still here next week, I'll bring her on. I'll show you guys.
Perfect. We can't wait to meet her. I hope she is there. If anything, she's going to get herself a great home and a great owner. But thank you, everyone, for tuning in with us today. Make sure you catch us on the daily, 1 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday. Thanks for tuning in to Bet, Win, Repeat.
See you.